Jamie Raskin is one of the best communicators in the Democratic Party, and ever since Donald Trump's inauguration, he has taken it up to about an 11, not holding back, bringing that same unapologetic, unabashed fierceness to his attacks on Donald Trump, his call-outs of MAGA, and recently setting his sights on James Comer, making sure everyone knows how ridiculous his hypocrisy, his shamelessness, his lies are, and how insane it is that he can applaud the pardoning of January 6th insurrectionists, violent criminals, mind you, and push this lie that there's millions of violent immigrants coming across the border. We have to do everything we can to stop them. Everything. But January 6th insurrectionists, cop beaters, walk free. It was an amazing call out from Jamie Raskin. I can't wait to get into it. But before we do, if I can quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now let's get into this clip of Jamie Raskin.
Chairman began by saying the point here is to restore the rule of law. Restore the rule of law. Can you even pretend to do that if you stand by and support Donald Trump, who on day one, as the chairman of the committee just said, day one of his presidency, pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists, including hundreds of people who violently assaulted and attacked American police officers? Let's just take one person who is free today, Julian Cater, who had been convicted after having every due process protection, the right to counsel, the right to cross-examine witnesses, the right to introduce evidence, but they had him completely. They knew exactly what happened. Most of this was videotaped so the whole world could see it. Well, Julian Cater repeatedly, violently assaulted our officer protecting us in Congress, Officer Brian Sicknick, who then proceeded to have several strokes and died on January the 7th, 2021, the next day. The family of Officer Sicknick is absolutely devastated and demolished by what's just happened. I invite any of my colleagues, including the members new to this committee who maybe weren't here on January 6th and didn't experience the trauma of that violent insurrection when we saw a mob marauding through here yelling, "Hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence," and looking to assassinate Nancy Pelosi. And now you have the temerity to come forward and say this is about public safety? How much safer are we now with these 1,500 criminals at large in Washington, D.C. and going out into the country? Are you vouching that these people are not going to be attacking any other police officers? Are you vouching that they're no longer a threat to public safety? What an outrage, what a scandal. Well, the hearing has been called not on trying to deal with the public safety crisis created by the president on day one of his presidency, but on immigration. Now, time and again, Democrats have reached across the aisle to fix our immigration system by finding common ground through compromise. We did it in 1986 with a Democratic-led House and a Republican-led Senate when we passed the immigration reform signed into law by President Reagan 4 decades ago. In 2013, under President Obama, Democrats worked with Senate Republicans on a sweeping immigration reform bill, only to have House Republicans kill it because it threatened Speaker Boehner's grip on power. Last year, under President Biden, Democrats worked with Republican Senator Lankford to produce a tough border security deal with increased border patrol, with increased border technology, with increased asylum judges at the border, but President Trump and House Republicans openly and aggressively tanked the deal. They sank the ship, openly rejecting a bipartisan border agreement hailed by the most conservative Republicans in the Senate because they preferred to have a security crisis to run on than an actual border solution. And yet, as Democrats, we stand ready again to work with our colleagues to fix the broken immigration system. Today, unlawful crossings at the border are much lower than they were when President Trump left office. We made progress. Now is the time for us to tackle the daunting task of finding compromise and pragmatic solutions to fix the system that has not been updated in decades, a system that relegates millions of people to the shadows and leaves other people in limbo. Let's secure the border. Let's make it a lot harder to get into America illegally and a lot easier to get into America lawfully. That's what America wants to see. Let's not use immigration to destroy our Constitution. Unbelievable that a lot of my friends on the other side of the aisle are sitting by idly while Donald Trump proposes by executive order to destroy Section 1 of the 14th Amendment, which establishes that everybody born in the United States is a citizen of the United States. And yet, they just let that go. All of these originalists and textualists who claim to care about what the Constitution stands for, that was the whole purpose and meaning of the 14th Amendment, and now they want to destroy birthright citizenship in America, moving to a citizenship based on race instead of a citizenship based on place, which was the whole purpose of the 14th Amendment, to overturn the Dred Scott decision. Well, we're obviously going to have some differences moving forward because they don't want real solutions. They just want to demagogue the immigration issue. That doesn't move America forward. It's just like they demagogued the issue of inflation. They said they were going to bring down prices in rent, in utilities, energy costs. They said they were going to bring down the price of groceries. Not a single peep from them about that on day one. No, it's just about releasing all the violent insurrectionists, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers who are out there today saying that they want revenge. Well, that's the real program for America. But let's hear what their specific proposals are about immigration. If they make sense, then we will get behind them. But if it's just more demagoguery, Mr. Chairman, I'm afraid we're going to have to let it pass. Thank you, and I yield back.
I will never get tired of Jamie Raskin. He does it better than really anyone else. I love all our Democrats in Congress, but Jamie Raskin is just kind of operating at a different level right now. And it is so important to not only call out the ridiculous lies of Donald Trump's mass deportation plan, this false narrative that he's constantly pushing, this fear-mongering against immigrants, in an effort to distract from the fact that reportedly egg prices already going up, mind you, in the first days of Donald Trump's administration, but are expected to jump 33% in the coming weeks. This was it. This was Donald Trump's whole thing. Eggs, groceries, gas, rent. It's all coming down. Lower prices. Where are they? I think the opposite has happened, and the opposite will continue to happen under Donald Trump's mass deportation plan. And so that on its face would be enough to call out. But connect Donald Trump's fear-mongering about violent criminals, his lies, with Donald Trump releasing real violent criminals who we have on millions, it seems like, hours of video storming our Capitol, brutally assaulting police officers. It's ridiculous. And that's why we have so many great Democrats calling it out, making that connection. One of them was AOC. I want to watch that clip right here.
I thank the ranking member. Mr. Speaker, I want the American people to know with eyes wide open what is inside this bill. Because we stand here just 2 days after President Trump gave unconditional pardons to violent criminals who attacked our nation's capital on January 6th. And these are the people who want you to believe, who want us to believe that they're trying to, quote unquote, keep criminals off the streets. When they are opening the floodgates. I want the American people to know what is in this bill. Because in the guise and in the wake of tragedy, we are seeing a fundamental erosion of our civil rights. In this bill, if a person is so much as accused of a crime, if someone wants to point a finger and accuse someone of shoplifting, they will be rounded up and put into a private detention camp and sent out for deportation without a day in court, without a moment to assert their right and without a moment to assert the privilege of innocent until proven guilty. Without being found guilty of a crime, they will be rounded up. That is what is inside this bill, a fundamental suspension of a core American value. And that is why I rise to oppose it. If you're a dreamer All someone has to do is point a finger and you will be rounded up. And we have seen moments like these happen before. In the Patriot Act, in the wake of the travesty of 9/11, a fundamental suspension of American civil liberties. That is what we are seeing here today. Mr. Speaker, you may wonder why so many of our friends across the aisle who care so deeply about the rule of law happen to be so desperate to pass this bill, after they are unleashing people who attacked police officers here on this Capitol into roaming our streets, who are publicly saying now they want to get a gun. Suddenly, these folks care about public safety? I don't think so.
We need more of this. I talked to Senator Chris Murphy about how we message against Donald Trump's mass deportation plan, because sure, there will be examples of immigrants who have come to this country and committed crimes. Sure. But per capita, the difference between American citizens and immigrants, legal or illegal, is not even comparable in terms of crime committed. Or between January 6th insurrectionists, that's a lot of crimes committed. And so this idea that we're going to allow Donald Trump to push this line, this BS, as Senator Murphy said, and not call out the real impacts on communities that will be devastated, families separated, our economy rocked by this, we have to call it out. Of course we do. And if he wants to continue to push this fear-mongering, we don't need to fear-monger. We're telling the truth that Donald Trump has now let out on the streets violent criminals and the January 6th insurrectionists, many who were, and this is important, reported or turned in by their family members now fearing for their lives. That's Donald Trump's America. Having people be afraid of him and his supporters for what they might do and what might be excused by the President of the United States. That is what we have to call out, and we're going to on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, you drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.